get to know more about cybersecurity, because having a complex password or having two-factor authentication is never enough.
Minimum two-factor authentication for everyone listening out there.
It didn't help me, at least.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cyber Revolution podcast. I'm Adam Hewitt, the CEO of Cyber Revolution, and today I'm joined by a current staff student of ours, Amin. Amin, how are you?
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Adam. And hello, everyone.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Now, Amin, as I said before, is a current student of ours. He has been crushing his studies at the moment. And I wanted to get him on because I just think he's a great person to come on the podcast and share his story. That's exactly why we have our students on this podcast, is to share their stories. Everyone has a different one and a unique one. But also, I think as well, everyone has a story that resonates with a current student or somebody else as well. And you can pick up little nuggets of gold along the way. So that's why essentially we have continued to do this podcast each and every week. And I hope you're all getting a bunch of value out of it. Before we get into Armin's story, I do just want to give a bit of an overview of exactly who this podcast is for. So Cyber Revolution, we are Australia's only dedicated cybersecurity training and placement institute. We specialize in finding people their first job in cybersecurity. Over the years that we've been doing this, we've helped thousands of people, but we still get absolutely bombarded with questions about what cybersecurity is, what skills do you need to learn, what is CompTIA, what is an entry-level cybersecurity role. You hear about all of these attacks that are happening each and every day. I think the latest one was Dimix a week or two ago. Over 1 million people's data was stolen in that attack. And obviously the Optus and Medibank attacks that happened about a year or so ago now. So you hear a lot about it, but it is still a mysterious industry and there are a lot of misconceptions. So we want to break down some of those barriers and common misconceptions and really just educate people on what cybersecurity is and how you can land your first job in this industry. So if that resonates whatsoever, then this could be the podcast for you. Okay, Amin, let's get into it. I'm going to start from the very beginning, where I do with all of our guests. What were you doing for work when you started to think about a career change in cybersecurity?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I was thinking about career change since I migrated to Australia in 2017, because my background is kind of relevant to technology. I was working as a system admin, that sort of role back in my country. But when I come to Australia, for any reason, like bad resume, not having enough connections, or not having a good network, many different factors caused me not to be able to land a job in the technology. So I was working as a petrol station manager at the time when I entered Australia. Fast forward 3-4 years, I stayed in that role, but in 2021, I switched my job to a security role, not cybersecurity, rather electronic security, which is more responsible for physical security, like CCTV cameras, access control, and stuff like that. And I was still thinking about changing my career, because coming from a background of IT, I always wanted to return back, because I invested in that field, right? I have studied Bachelor of Software Engineering and then Master of IT. So I didn't want to waste it somehow. I didn't have relevant experience that much. So even at that point in my home country, which I was working in IT, I wasn't deep enough. So I was more of a all-rounder type of person in the organization I was working for, jack of all trades. But I always wanted to find a way to back to IT. And to be honest, I found cybersecurity pretty promising and interesting role. And it is just the start of a boom. So I didn't want to miss the train. I just tried to jump on it. I was thinking a lot about it. But when I saw your advertisement on the social media, and I get to know your company and listen to the podcasts and some stories of other people who took this path, I decided to jump on the board and start doing it.
Wow, amazing. I think, we get a lot of people who have studied, 10 years ago, they've done their IT masters or even a cybersecurity degree years and years ago, and for whatever reason didn't get back into it, but still always have that passion and drive to get into
That's correct. Something inside you that sounds, go for it, go for your dream, go for it, do it.
Well, exactly right. Like if you don't go for it, if you let the fear hold you back, or you let whatever it is, variables hold you back for whatever reason, then I think you're always going to regret that, right? Especially if it's something that you've wanted to do for so long. So I commend you on that, mate. I really, really do. It does take a lot of courage to change careers. As you said, we were talking off air before, you have a family, you've got responsibilities, but it's obviously you're doing this for them as well. So yeah, really, really well done. Now with cybersecurity, you mentioned before you knew about the boom. I always ask this question because I'm very interested, because we've got a range of different different answers. Was there a specific moment for you that was like, okay, I have to do this? Some people may have been a victim of a cybersecurity attack or something happened at their work. Was there any like real specific moment you can think of?
As for cybersecurity, actually, I have a story. So I was always quite secure. Like I said, I had a background in IT, so I was always very cautious about my passwords and like keeping my devices secure and everything. But somehow in January this year, I lost my Facebook account has been hacked, and I don't know what the hacker did to my account, but the account which I had for like 10, 12 years has been hacked, and whatever action they have done on this account, it caused my Instagram, on my WhatsApp, anything Meta related to go out of access. I wasn't able to contact my family. I wasn't able to create a new account with WhatsApp because that number was blacklisted or whatever. Yeah, that's a story. Actually, get to know more about cybersecurity, because having a complex password or having two-factor authentication is never enough.
No, well, that's, I think, at minimum two-factor authentication for everyone listening out there.
It didn't help me, at least.
Yeah, well, exactly. Oh, that's amazing. And see, that's what I mean. Usually someone has fallen victim, and that was like the domino that was like, okay, I have to do something about this. And they've got that mindset of, I'm going to get back at the bad guys that are doing this to not only you, but potentially your family in the future, and colleagues and friends, etc. So that's really, really interesting. And now, why Cyber Evolution? Because you mentioned you came across us on social media.
That's correct. I saw your advertisement on social media, and I did a bit of research. First of all, Cyber Evolution is a Australian company, so you can trust. Basically, there is governance on top of it and everything. The other thing is that the job placement. To be honest, I didn't saw many training institutions to offer job placement and help you in that regard. Basically, they offer the training, but after that, you're on your own. You don't know what to do. You don't get much consultation. And also, the weekly success factors sessions was kind of very helpful and valuable to me as well. Because whatever you do, it doesn't matter how motivated are you and how badly you want to change your role and get into the cybersecurity, but after some time, you lose motivation. Yeah. So you need someone to get back to you, say, how are you doing? What's up? That part was quite valuable for me as well.
Okay, so the job placement services, and then this one-on-one dedicated support success session. That's a mouthful, isn't it? With your success officer, Angelica. How good is Angel? She's amazing, isn't she?
She's amazing. She knows a lot about the field, and she's pretty good in motivating you, and very, very, very respectful, very punchy in terms of like session timings and stuff like that. And quite flexible if you have something. If you can't actually make a session or something, she's quite flexible to book another session. She's fantastic. Yeah.
She is. I want to ask you this question first, because I spoke to Angel before getting you onto the podcast. You've done really well with your study so far. For you, what are some key strategies that you implemented to ensure your success?
Yes, absolutely. I researched a lot about it, because I just didn't want to miss this opportunity, So I researched a lot about it, and I came across like 3 or 4 points that are like absolutely must-haves to get you there. First and foremost, the most important thing is consistency. So no matter what you're doing, no matter what happens in the outside world, put the time and effort in. So if you have to spend like 1 hour per day or half an hour, whatever it might be, just do it. No matter what, just put the work in. The second thing is that never stick to just one source. The Cyber Revolution source is pretty good. I'm not saying that it's not enough, But the thing is that it is not built for everyone. It is not one size fits all. So always get your information from different sources. You may relate to someone teaching you better than the other person. And also, if you look at different aspects from different angles, you definitely get the materials better and get the concept better, especially if you are not experienced in technology and you don't know much about these concepts of cyber security and network. It's actually worth it to get the information from different sources.
Yeah, I think there's roughly say 80 to 90% of our students do just stick to the one resource. It's great to just be under the same roof. But for somebody I know like yourself who is extremely diligent and likes a depth and breadth of understanding, we do sometimes provide other resources for our students to get into. Because you really like putting in not only, as I said before, that breadth, but the depth of understanding as well. So that's important.
Yes. The other thing is that the other strategy which I took might work for me, might not work for anyone else, but it was just my strategy. So whenever I start doing a course, the first step for me is that to take the exam. So I'll take the mock exam to see what I'm dealing with and how much do I score. Obviously, the score shouldn't be that great before you start doing your studies, but at least you have a rough idea of what you are gonna learn. So that helped me as well in terms of nailing it.
Yeah. Okay. So you took the practice exams, because we have practice exams that mimic the major exams with CompTIA. You took that at the start of your studies, did you?
At the start of the studies.
Interesting.
At least once. Then I go to the study materials, do the courses one by one and the modules one by one.
Yep.
And obviously when I finished, I redo the exam. And then from there, I try to find out what's my weakness points and what sort of, what parts should I concentrate more on. And then try to redo the exam 4 times, depends on.
Yep. That is a unique strategy. I haven't heard of a student doing it that way. And everyone is different, right? And
like I said, it may not work for everyone.
Exactly. It may not work for everyone, but it's clearly working for you. And I guess what that could do is early on identify some of your skills gaps. I know probably 80% of our students are complete career changes. They don't have any IT knowledge or background or skill set at all. Whereas for someone like yourself, who does have a little bit of that knowledge previously, you've studied it quite some time ago, could be a good way to just refresh and go, I am still strong in those areas, but I am weak in these areas. And this is where I need to focus a lot of my time when studying. So that's a good tip for somebody who is like yourself, which we do get a bunch of. They might have studied 5-10 years ago. They can look at implementing that if you're a student listening. It's a good tip.
Yeah. It's a very good way to refresh your knowledge if you have previous knowledge. That's very helpful. The other thing is that don't procrastinate. So if you do your mock exams and you reach to a certain point, like 75%, 80% or something like that, don't try to be perfect.
Yep.
When you're ready, just do it. Just do it. For the Network Plus and also Security Plus, I was in doubt if I have to do it, not do it, but the exam scores were the mock exam score was about 80, 85, sometimes fall to like even 78 or 79. Decided to do it and I did it. First hit, passed the exam. Yeah.
Exactly. You trust the process, right? Once our students get to a certain point, even if they have a little bit of doubt and they're like, I still feel like I'm not ready, we then say this is when it comes into the role that Angel is in, who knows you, who's been spending this whole time with you on the journey. She goes, you've gone through our process. You've done this. You've done the practice labs. You've done the theory. You've done the practice exams. You're scoring that right score that you need to. And that's when you need to trust us and go, you have gone through this process and it's worked for so many people. You're ready. And so, I did ask, as I said before, I asked Angel, who obviously is your success officer looking after you each week, and I asked her what were some of the key traits that she said that, or she thought that made you successful. And she said your diligence was one, and then your attention to detail as well was probably number 2. Just really making sure that you, as I said, ticked all the boxes you needed to, and then we're extremely diligent in following that process moving forward. As you said, if it's in your calendar, if you've got time set aside for it,
just do it.
And it gets done. Amazing.
I haven't been very good with the Cyber Plus,
Yeah.
I wasn't being so diligent with the size of class, but
Yep.
I'm trying to get there. I
Yep.
finished the studies, so I just doing the prep work to get to the exam.
We're almost there. We're almost there. And then I know you're almost finishing your studies. You're coming up to the back end. You've got your pen test to go.
Yes.
But you are one of the fortunate students that we are going to provide a job opportunity whilst you're studying. Doesn't happen for everyone, but we do have some opportunities that do come up for our students. Some, 60 days in, some, 4 months in, some 6 months in. And now you've got an opportunity coming up that we've just actually lodged your resume off this afternoon to one of our newest placement partners. Fingers crossed, exactly. And so they're our newest placement partner out of Sydney. Reasonably small cybersecurity company, but growing at a rapid rate, and some really big plans for the future. I met their head recruiter last week just to solidify the partnership, and they're amazing. So touch wood, it's your first application with us. But yeah, I think you're a very, very, very strong candidate. So we'll see how you go with that one.
Thanks very much.
Other than this process, obviously the placement side of things, which is exciting. What did you enjoy most about your studies? Was it the lectures, the labs, the support?
All of them were perfect, to be honest. The support is perfect. The information and the knowledge you gain from the labs, as well as actually labs are very good for hands-on experience. So if you lack that part, that's very helpful. And also the knowledge you gain from the lectures is absolutely amazing and valuable. So pretty much every single bit of it, I can't just choose one.
Good. I like that answer.
Honest, I can't choose one.
No. Yeah, as you said, we're a training company that just specializes in one industry. So we want it, and it's in a changing, always changing program. What our program was, a year ago is not what it was today, and what it is now is not what it will be in a year. The cybersecurity industry changes so rapidly, but also we always want to be getting better and improving what we can do. So it's good to hear that feedback, that you've enjoyed all aspects of the training. That means a lot.
Yeah, because these are just like pieces of puzzle. You have to put all of them together to see the whole picture.
Yeah,
you cannot have all the certificates in the work and no hands-on experience. And like I said, as much as you're motivated, you lose it at some point. So you need that support, that weekly support.
Yes.
So all of it together is actually working really good.
Good.
There is room for improvement, but that's true for every industry, any company, any process.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh no, if you think that you don't have any room to improve, then that's mistaken.
Out of the market.
So it's really good to hear that you're loving your studies. And so I guess the next thing would be to talk about some top 3 tips. It's a last question I like to ask all of our students, just to be able to give nuggets of gold, but we've already covered that, didn't we? So maybe we'll do a bit of a recap. Let's change it up. So those were key strategies for your studies, right? Those are your top 3 key strategies to get through the studies. Talk me through what your top 3 tips would be for somebody who's sitting on the fence right now that would want to get into cybersecurity, but may have studied it 10 years ago and is thinking, that's just a pipe dream. It's not going to happen.
The first one would be just like my strategies: be consistent. No matter what, put the work in. Don't give up on your dreams, because you're gonna regret it at some point. So put the work in. And the next thing is that don't expect fast results to happen overnight. It's a long process. It's not short. It's not easy. It takes at least 6 months to 1 year. Depends on how you travel and how much work you put in.
Yep.
So don't expect fast results, because what happens is that you get demotivated if you don't see the results within the next 4 or 5 months. So be ready to put in the work for long term. And number 3 would be keep up with the market. That's a very good strategy to pump you up. So follow the news, follow any relevant network or channel on LinkedIn or anywhere else you can find. Yep. Keep yourself on. That helps you with gaining knowledge, as well as, like I said, keep you motivated and pumped to put in the work, the actual work.
Yep. I think they're really, really good ones, especially keep up with the market, do your research. Even if you hear from your friends, cousins, boyfriend at a picnic that cybersecurity is hard to get into, and you're like, oh yeah, I knew it. That's taking the easy way out, because you know you're going to get out of your comfort zone and you might be looking for an excuse not to change. Look into it, do the research. It's all there, how much we need more people in this industry, but we need the right people. We don't need people, as you said, are into it to just earn good money quickly or get a job straight away and not put the work in or not enjoy the process. What I love about this conversation is you clearly have enjoyed the process from where you were to where you are now.
Yeah, of course, of course. The reason being that first, for my passion for technology. The second is that my current industry is not totally irrelevant. So we do a lot of stuff with the network and stuff like that. To be honest, getting Network Plus helped me to get a job which was 20K, paying 20K more than my previous job.
Really?
Just by having Network Plus.
So you made $20,000 just from the Network Plus?
Yes.
Talk us through that process. How did that all come about?
Actually, like I said, the physical security does have a lot of things with the network as well.
Yep.
So having that background and the base of network would help you. Like in the previous job, I was working with some Cisco switches and do configs on them and stuff like that, and that absolutely helped me through the second job. It was a winning factor. I believe that was a factor which I could land that job with that salary.
Amazing. Well, there's your return on investment for within the program already, but obviously now
it's already paid off, but
it's already more than paid off, which is amazing.
Yes.
So obviously now we want that to continue to happen, because that is honestly the power, guys, of education. It really is. No, you want to attach that kind of value to every single certificate. Amin got one certificate, the Network Plus, and it's increased his salary by $20,000.
That's it.
So it's really, really important. Yeah, it is a great story, right? And it's one I think that everyone needs to hear. And it's really important to place value on these certifications, and also enjoy the process of studying them whilst you can, Amin. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's an amazing chat. I really enjoyed listening to your story, and I'm sure all of our listeners did too. I hope they got a lot of value out of it. Good luck in your applications that we've just put forward for your first job application in cybersecurity today.
Thank you very much.
Today. Exciting times, mate. Guys, if you did get some value out of this podcast, which I'm sure you did, please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to know more about the job placement program that Amin is currently in, all you need to do is just head to cyberevolution.com.au. You can leave your details there and someone from the team will be in touch. Thanks for listening, everyone.
So if you've been sitting on the fence for a while, umming or ahhing, this could be the opportunity, the push you need to make the change you need to make. I'll be getting a booking link placed into the description of this episode. Book yourself in for a chat with one of the team members, and potentially you could be starting your journey in a new career in cybersecurity. Thanks for listening, everyone.